Welcome back to Gordon's channel. In this lesson, we will be learning SweetAlert. So SweetAlert is a model box library and it is compared to the traditional alert box. It will allow us to create a nice model box. And this model box, if we go to any place in our web page, if we click on it, it is still centered relative to the screen. So this is a nice model box. And to start it, first of all, we need to import the library from a content delivery network. So we will click into, in the official website, we will click into the guides. And here we have the installation. So if we have using a node environment, we can do these steps with the npm command and the ES6 import statement. But if I want to do it in the front end, it is also okay. We can copy this script tag here with the CDN. So we can copy this and go to our project directory. And then we can create a new HTML. So here we need to import it in our head. So here we can see that this is a CDN without mentioning the versioning. So we can also get the versioning. For example, if we click on this one, we can see that we can get a link with the versioning. So it is more suggested because sometimes when the syntax is changed, if you import the generic one, then your website may crash. So I would suggest to include the versioning here. So we will be using the 2.1.2 version. And let's switch on the live server. Yeah, we have nothing here. So now we need to add a script to use it. So I'm going to keep it simple. So I will put the script tag at the end of my body. So here we will start to use the swal keyword. So this is an object. So the SWL stands for SweetAlert. And once you import the library, we can have this object in our global scope. So the syntax is like this. So basically, you can use it with just one text. Or if you don't, if you use two string, it will be the title and the text. And if you use three string, it will be the title, the text, and the icon. So let's try this first. So first of all, we can use only one string. So we can see that when we use only one string, it will be with the text only, and with an OK button. But then, if say we create, let me put it this way. If we have two string as argument, then the first one will be the title. So we will have a title and the text. And for the third argument, it will be the icon. So there are four types. Success is a green tick. If we use error, it will be a red cross like this. And if use a warning, it will be a yellow exclamation mark. And for the fourth default one, it is info, and it will be a blue eye. So this is the four default icon. And after that, we can also customize this button. So if we want to customize button, we can use the object. So the fourth argument will be options, and we can ignore this three one and only use options, which is a JavaScript object. So let's try it. So now instead of doing this, we'll use an object. So this will be the title. This will be the text. This will be the icon. And after that, we can customize the buttons. So we can say, yeah. Oh yeah. So you can see that we have changed the text of the button. So how about if we want to have more than one button? So if we want to have more than one buttons, we can input more than one text. For example, now the property has to add a s because we have more than one button. So we can make it an array. If we make it an array, it can accept two arguments. The first one is the cancel button. And the second one will be the, oh, this will be a comma. And the second one will be the confirm button. So this is the confirm button and this is the cancel button. So how do we know that this is the confirm and this is the cancel? So it involves how to read the click values with the SweetAlert model box. So actually the model box is a promise and we can use the .then to chain it. So let's go to our demo and let's add the chaining. So now we add .then and .then will accept a function. So we can say function value. We can do it this way, or we can use it with the ES6 syntax arrow function. So we can say the value arrow, and then what we do next. So for example, we can console log the value first and see what's the difference. So now if we open the console, if we click on the confirm button, we see the result is true. And if we click on the cancel button, the result will be null. And we can also close it with by clicking somewhere outside the model box, clicking into the overlay area. If we click onto the overlay area, the result is null too. And lastly, there's a fourth way to close this one. So we can use the keyboard, the escape button. If we press the escape button, the returned value will be null too. So that's how to read the click values when there is two buttons. And actually, we can have more than two buttons. If we want to have more than two buttons, we have to rewrite it in this way. So here, instead of using an array of two string element, we will change it to an object. And for this object, we will go to become like this. So for the first one, we will give it a value of true. And for the second property, let's give it a value of true too. So if we do it in this way, not really true, and oh yeah, true, then we will have two buttons. Oh, it can't do it in this way. Let me see. Yeah, we can do it this way. So let's change it to, yeah, I agree. Yeah. And let's change this to, not really. No. Okay. Let's try it. Now we can see that we have two buttons. We have no and yeah. And they are both confirm button, but the return value will be the text. So when we click on the no, it becomes a confirm button too. And the return value will be the text no. And notice that this one is capitalized, but inside our returned value, it is not capitalized. It is all in small letter. And now, how do we create the cancel button? So if we still want to have a cancel button, it will be cancel. And then the text will be put here. So cancel, not really. So if we do it this way, we have a cancel button. And we can have the, if we want to have the text, so in my previous version, we have the oh yeah. So if I want to have the text as oh yeah instead of yeah, so how do I do this? So I can go to change this to a button, say yeah, and then I can say make it an object, and I will say this is the text will be oh yeah, oh yeah, and the value will be yeah. So we save it, and then we can see that the text becomes oh yeah. And if we click on it, the returned value is yeah. So this is how to create a button which have a different text and a different returned value. So when we have this returned value, we can continue to do something else. For example, we can say uh, switch on the value, and then we can go to have different cases. For example, if we have year, we can use the model box chess and break the case. And then for the second case, if we have the second one, which is kind of, for example, kind of, then if the second one is kind of, then we can have a square value of your notion. And if it is a neither this, so if it is a cancel, so let's for the cancel, let's put it in the default option. So we will say regret that you don't agree. No, let's not write this something so negative. Let's say so vanilla is better. Yeah, we don't need to break the default. So let's try it. So now we have created the follow up action in our .then chaining callback function. So if the first confirm button is clicked, we say cheers. Otherwise, we say you are no soon, or otherwise we say so vanilla is better. So if we say makes model box easy, oh yeah, say cheers. And if the we say kind of, then it say you're no soon. And if we say not really, then it will say so vanilla is better. So that's how to do the with the click values. And after that, we can also include some model box input element in the model box. So we can do it in this way. For example, if we here we can create a content of input. Let me switch the language to English. A comma. Okay. Now we can have a content of input text element. So if we click on, okay, I should still open the console. Yeah. So now if let me also console log the returned value. Yeah. Now if I click on here and I input some text value, for example, I agree, and then I use the enter to click it. So the returned value will be I agree. So here you can add some more cases. For example, if the cases is I agree, then we can do something like okay, let's do it this way. So if the case is no, then we will print this one. So vanilla is better. But if it is not no, if it is the user input something in the text box, then it will say that your input is, this is the template literal. So your input is the input value. So let's try it this way. So if now we have clicked into the input box and type some text, for example, this is the password. And if we click it, we will say your input is password. So this is how to read create a input text element and how to read it. So after that, we can for the icon. Now we are using a default icon, which is one of the 4 default icon. But we can also change it to an image. So we can customize it by changing the icon to an image. And it is done like this. So for example, I use this image. So if I inspect it, and then I see the image URL is here. So let's open it in a new tab. So this is the image URL of the SweetAlert logo. So if I copy it and paste it, so I will paste it here. So the icon, instead of the string, it will be the URL. So it still have to be a string. So yeah. So let's save it. Yeah, now the icon becomes the SweetAlert logo. Nice. And after that, what else can we customize? So apart from the image, we can also customize everything else actually. So for example, if we want to change the overlay color, we can go to the style sheet, style. So we can all the styling is done by changing the class property. All the class of the styling, it has a prefix of swal dash. So swal hyphen, and then we can say overlay. For example, we can give it a background color of let's see what color is great. So let's give it a nice color, light blue, which with a transparency. Yeah, let's something like this. So now we can see that the overlay becomes a light blue color with some transparency. So if you don't see the transparency, we can create some lorem ipsum to okay, something like this. So you can see that this is some model box with some overlay of opacity. And after the overlay, we can also customize the model box. So we can say, okay, too much. Yeah, and the dot swell. Now this one is the box. Okay, so let's say if we give it a border of blue, let's give it a blue border, but let's make it a darker blue and less opacity. Let's try it. Oh, it's not working. So the property is not box. So we can check it in the documentation. We can go to the documents page, and there is the theming. So here we see swal overlay, swal model. So the property, the class name should be swal model. So after changing the swal model, we can see that it is, no, the color is not changing. So let's go to here. So we can give it a background color and a border. So let's create a border with 3px solid and then the color. Now we are giving it a border with the color. And then we can also change its background color. So we can change its background color, for example, to this one. Now it has a green background color. And if the opacity is too much, we can adjust it. Yeah, this is better. And now we can customize the title and the text and the other elements. So it will be the swal title, swal text. For example, if we do the swal title customization, you see the title is changed. It becomes of a different color and with a smaller size. Yeah, let's make it bigger. And for the text, we can do it too. So we can go to change the swal text class. So we can say the swal text. Okay. So let's give it the swal text of. So we can let's see the background color. We can make it still green, and okay, we can omit the background color here. But we can give it some padding, and we can change the text to a also something pink. Okay, so let's just change it this way. Now the text is changed with some border and some of the padding, so it becomes more spacing. And after that, we can customize the footer and the button. So the footer is actually this button area. The footer is this button area. So we can change it by giving it some background color or some margin. So we can say, for example, add some spacing in between. So we can try this. So we can add some spacing before changing the color. We can add some spacing and a line between. So we have a border top to separate them. So this is the footer section. And at last, we can style the button. So we can use the swal button. The swal button will style these buttons. So we can change the color of this button. But for the cancel button, the text color is still different from the others because this is the cancel button. So this is how to style the other elements of the SweetAlert model box. So I hope you like this lesson and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Thank you. Bye bye.